spectacular evaluator, contest winner. He's working for his Advanced Communicator Silver. He's going to be working for the Better Speaker Series. Concluding your speech, Dan Collier.
Mr. Toastmaster, good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning.
Good morning.
Do not leave this room today without knowing this. People remember longest what they heard last. All right, so today we are going to be talking about the last 30 seconds of your speech, concluding your speech effectively. I'm going to tell you about 3 criteria that every effective speech conclusion must have. I'm going to give you some techniques that you can try in your speech conclusions, and then I'm going to test your listening skills by having you conclude this speech. Now, this fact is so important that I want you to repeat it with me. First I'll say it, then I'm going to ask you to repeat it with me. People remember longest.
People remember longest
What they heard last.
what they heard last.
Excellent. Okay, now the 3 criteria that every effective speech conclusion must have. First, it must achieve a sense of closure. Imagine a joke without a punchline. That is exactly what a speech is without an effective conclusion. You must conclude your speech and give the audience what they came for, a sense of closure. Next, you must reiterate your main points. Why? Because people remember longest
What they heard last.
Absolutely. You must reiterate your points, because it's not like an article where things are written, people can go back. As a speech, you must use repetition to hammer home your points. So the second criteria is to reinforce those main points. And finally, it must have an impact. I have heard some of the greatest speeches ever in this room reduced to mediocre speeches that will be forgotten simply because they didn't have an effective conclusion, no impact. You're going to use all of your Toastmaster skills, your voice variety, your body language, your eye contact, to hammer home your point in effective, impactful ending, conclusion to your speech. Now there's some techniques that you can use in your speech. And I have to use acronyms to remember everything in my life, as you know from my evaluations. And my speech techniques have cars, but I spell it with Q. Q-A-R-B-S-S. Q stands for quote. You have heard Wayne Choate and Bill Starr effectively use quotes or poems to conclude their speech. Very powerful method. Next, A, call to action. Give the listener something to do, to stand up and go to do at the end of your speech, a call to action. R, a rhetorical question. Often asking a rhetorical question causes people to think that question in their mind. B, refer to the beginning. This is my favorite. It's a nice little bow at the end of the speech. Refer to the beginning. S, tell a story or anecdote. Again, you only have 30 seconds at the end, but make sure that story or anecdote has to do with your speech, something very effective to remind people, personal story. And finally, summarize. Go over your points. Those are the cards, the techniques of effective speech conclusions. Now, remember, you are going to have to put together a conclusion that gives your audience a sense of closure. You are going to have to reiterate your main points. And you're going to have to create an impactful ending that they can leave home with. So, what do people remember the longest?
What they heard last.
Mr. Toastmaster.